Boop, 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 boop. Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in. All right, day job ran a little late today. Sergeant Grass, Cleveland, Matthew, how you doing, guys? Thank you. I just need to start moving parts and pieces over here so I can get set up to square up those blanks. Oh, goodness. How's everyone doing today? Hope y'all are doing great. Let's see how this glue up came out. Doing good? Awesome. Awesome. Need to get back some of my clamps. I should have clamped a piece of wood to that, but it'll be all right. The planer will take care of it. The crack is solid, so we're good now. We're good enough close enough for government work. All right, let's get this back here. How did I get that stuck in there? There we go. Bit of a hungry headache. There you go. You know what? That reminds me. I got dino nuggies in the house. I'm gonna have a good dinner. All right. So I need the jointer and I'm probably gonna have to scrape a little bit first. In fact, what we should probably do is get those broken down first. Get all these things out of clamps. So we can get them, we can get my clamps back. Listen, I worked all day. I'm not even wearing a woodcraft hat. I look at woodcraft hat. Though I really should. Ain't nothing wrong with repping my own brand. So I discovered that these clamps, remember I think it was yesterday I was talking about the pipe wrenches or pipe clamps, how if they're touching the wood glue and the wood, they'll leave black marks on the wood. So will these. I'll show you on the longer ones. All jacked up, not even repping your own merch. I know it. I know it. I try to keep the hats clean. And then, now that I'm thinking about it, I've only got like 70 of them, so ain't nothing wrong with getting one dirty. I'm pretty sure I have more. Good evening, Vineyard, or Brian? I think your name's Brian. Really bad with names. It'll take me a minute. There's a lot to clean up on there. I don't know what Grass was thinking when he started gluing everywhere. All right. These ones are going to get cleaned up, squared up. Let's get these ones broken down. Stay. Probably should have thought this through a little bit, how I was taking these down. Good evening, Robert. Good evening. Yeah, this one's got some staining that I can show you guys. We get this all broken down, and I'll show you guys the stain. It's something that I didn't even realize these ones did. But I also usually make it a point to keep my clamps, keep my bars off of the clamp or off the wood. But you can see that it rusted here. That's just a reaction with the glue, I'm assuming. I even took the black coating off right there. That's a DeWalt. What's a DeWalt? That's a DeWalt. That's a DeWalt. There's a bunch of DeWalt over there. And nope, I think it's it. So, oops. There's that staining I was telling you about. It's just a reaction with the wood glue and the metal. So, hopefully it doesn't go too deep, because that would make me sad. But we'll get it figured out. I love DeWalt. You're from Portugal. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I don't discriminate here. Be from wherever country you want. And still watch a stream. Just got done resawing some cherry and walnut. Nice. Nice. You're the one doing a table build, aren't you, Robert? I know I have a place to put all my clamps, but I need to clean them up before I put them away, or I'm not going to clean them up. Lap desks, and gonna start some jewelry boxes. Oh, nice. I don't know who I don't know why I thought you were doing a table build. Must have been someone else. So tonight is going to be fairly short because, as I said before, I try to be done making noise by 8 o'clock, and it's 6:15. So I don't know how much we'll get done. What clamp needs to be? You get glue on the bar. That needs to be cleaned off. Now, one of these days, I'm going to do a test and see. And it's not a reaction between the metal and the wood. It's a reaction between the metal and the wood glue. Kind of gets this ebonizing going on, and we don't want that to be ebonized. Speaking of ebonizing, we gotta get that basketball hoop thing done. That'll be one of these days when I get home too late to run a live or something. So that gets delivered, I think, the beginning of next week for that. I'll have to look at my notes. So it's normally just on the surface. Yeah, I usually, hopefully it doesn't go any deeper. I usually, I actually noticed that you can see it's running with the glue. And then that must have been where I scraped some glue up. It's got this darker streak here. But I usually make it a point to keep my clamp off of the surface, but for some reason I laid them down on the surface like a bonehead. But 'tis what it is. It'll be okay. I'm going to call you Olaf because I can't pronounce that name. I don't. I have no idea what you said, but I'm going to assume you said, "Hi, how are you? You're awesome." So, thank you. All right. Well, I have to scrape at least 2 sides of this. I probably shouldn't have brought out the jointer yet. Oh. have to scrape two sides so that way I can run them through the jointer without any ill effects. And I can actually get decent results. So we're going to give this a scrape. Move you guys over here. All we're trying to do is get the majority of the glue off of two faces so that they can run through the jointer without causing any ill effects. They don't have to be perfectly smooth, but they've got to, you know, I don't want clumps of glue on there. Side's good. Let's see which edge I'm going to do. And I only need to do two because they're going to run through the planer for the other two sides. Howdy, James. How you doing? Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. I just knocked off the runs and stuff. So we're going to do that side probably. Looks like it'll go through the jointer a little easier. I don't know if one clamp is going to be enough on this. This thing might get all wonky. Ah, it'll be all right. It'll be okay. Scraping across the grain. So this piece of maple is a little proud, which is how I put it together. So all I really have to do is scrape that maple, so glue on the other pieces will come off with the jointer. So I just want to make sure there's no giant clumps and chunks. And that's twofold. A, I'm not destroying my planer blades by hitting that glue, which is hard. And B, I can make sure that I'm referencing, like I'm actually trimming the edge and I'm not hitting a clump of glue and it's causing this, you know, causing it to do this. It does happen on occasion. Believe it or not, I've made a mistake once or twice. And then I bought a scraper. Okay, that should be good. There's one down. 3 more to go. Yeah. Might as well do this great big monstrosity here. And we're going to do this side because the maple sticks out more. Oh shit. I ain't got no glue on that side. Except for these two little dots, and there we go. 2 down. 2 little ones to go. No real glue on that side except for a little bit on the ends. Let's knock those off. Take that side. Okay, that's good enough. 3 down, 1 to go. This one got all kinds of wonky, so we'll reference that side. We only got a couple of little dots on this one. There. And then we'll reference this edge because there's less glue on it. The other 2 sides, I'll beat the hell out of the planer blades, no worries. I don't care about those. They can take more of a beating. Hey, Steph, how you doing? What planer and joiner do I recommend? Today was a Wednesday. Hey, Steve. James, I can tell you that I use a benchtop planer or benchtop jointer. It's that Porter cable right there. But I can also tell you that 99% of all those benchtop jointers are exactly the same. They're just painted different colors. And this is the planer that I use, the DeWalt 735X or whatever. And I think it's only the X because it came with in-feed and out-feed tables and an extra set of blades. Who Annie was in the song Smooth Criminal? I have no idea. Oh, nice. See? Steve concurs. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy? Now, if it's in your budget, I recommend getting if it's in your budget for a larger jointer or a larger planer, I recommend you get it. Like a floor standing model of a jointer would be nice. This one I'm going to build... I'm thinking about building it into a table if I ever get around to it, so that way I have extra in-feed and out-feed support. But that's not going to change the fact that it's only a 6-inch wide blade and it's a low power motor. Okay, so if it's in your budget to do something a little bigger, I would recommend going bigger. Or if your projects justify it. Like if all you're doing is, cutting boards or something, that little planer will get you through. That little jointer, rather, will get you through. And then as for like larger planers, they do have floor stand models. In fact, some European models, I only say European because that's the only place I've seen them. They have jointer planer combos where you can flip it around and use it as either or. Like you change the configuration of it. But yeah, benchtop ones, I'd say I think Wen makes one, and I'm pretty sure that if you look on Amazon at the Wen store, I'm pretty sure that planer will look exactly like this. It'll just be orange and black. So 99% of them are the same exact thing. Huge aircraft carrier looking planer. Nice. Like, I don't really joint wide boards that I can't flatten, other ways. So that little thing works out. And I'm in a small shop, so. But I was thinking about it. Like, I can make an in-feed and out-feed table just like you would for like a chop saw when you build a miter station. If you're only ever taking off like a set cut, like a 30-second or whatever, and you just build your tables level, I don't see why you couldn't turn that little 6-inch short thing into a longer thing. You already in your jammies? Planer, 10-inch drill press, and air cleaner? Nice. I just got the Wen sander because I burned up my Chicago electric one. And I already like it. So. But yeah, as for planers, I mean, this style is what, 13-inch cut. They have that other style, the older style that has it looks more kind of like a lunchbox, right? It's a little narrower. It's not quite as deep. And I think that one's a 12-inch cut. I'm not 100% on that. It might be like 12 and a half, right? And I don't even know if it's still a tool they make or if this one replaced that one. Hey, Bucci, how you doing? Ooh, grease burn bubbles everywhere. Oh, Lord. But, I mean, this thing has served me well. I picked this up on Marketplace. It was brand new for, I think it was $200. And I know where the guy got it. He got it when they were on sale at a local store. They were on sale for like $125. And I missed the sale. And then they were out of stock. And so he got them to resell them. I have a feeling that's his business, because after I bought this one, he posted another one. And in fact, when I picked this one up, he had 2 more in his car that he was delivering. So I get the feeling he was one of those people, which more power to him. He got to the sale and I didn't. He got to make a little extra money, But I've beaten this thing up for almost 2 years now. And I'll be honest, I don't even think I've changed the blades on it. I'm not even sure if I've turned them around. I don't know if you can turn them around. Now, I do need to change the blades, because... Is it snowing? Son of a bitch. I woke up this morning to snow. So over this shit. Fucking bipolar Mother Nature. Give me a few days of warm weather and then, haha, just kidding. Yeah, 13. I think the other style, their other version, which I'm not even sure if it's a current model. I think that one is. I think that one is like a 12 or 12 and a half or something like that. But if it's in your budget to get a bigger something and your work justifies it, that would be what I would get bigger. I'll be honest, I don't use the jointer near as much as yeah, exactly, James. I don't use the jointer near as much as I use the planer. So that'll probably be one of my next upgrades. Hey, Alan, how you doing, buddy? We can pretend that this is Friday. I'm okay with that. I hear it out there. I hear the solid hitting my roof. All right, so I'm going to. We got 6:30. I got plenty of time. I'm going to run these pieces across the jointer. And when I do that, I'm going to mute the mic because I don't want you guys to blow out your eardrums or whatever. So here's how the jointer works. Okay, you reference one face to your fence. The blades will cut the other side square to that face, right? Whatever your reference face is. And then you take that side that you just cut and you make that your reference face and you cut the other side. Now you have two pieces that are square. You will not be able to get two opposite sides parallel. You can, but it's rare and it takes a lot of work. All right. It's only really doable in things like this that are big chunks of square stuff. But you're much better off making two corners, right? One corner square, and then sending it through the planer or the table saw or whatever system you're going to do. I'm going to send them through the planer because I need to work it all down. But that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to reference this space to cut this edge, and then I'm going to reference this space to cut this edge or side. All right, the two sides that I cleaned up. So that's what we're going to do. Please be safe while you're working with the planer. All right. Every planer comes with, like little push block things. Helps you hold everything tight. Those blades there spin around at ridiculous speeds. So by the time you notice that you put your hand in there, you probably won't have any fingers left. So I'm going to mute this. I'm going to do this stuff, and I'll show you guys how that's working out. All right. All right. Hey, Amy Joe, how you doing? Hey, Hinton, how you doing? Oh, you'll be back. The silence is deafening. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I should have checked the square first. Hear him scream something goes wrong. Yeah, I definitely need a bigger bench. Forgot you were listening. All right. Now, one thing you have to be mindful of if you're doing stuff like this where you have laminated pieces that are, different, when you plane them, if you want that to look centered, you're going to square it up with the edge that you just jointed. Then you're going to clean this edge up to match this edge, right? And then you've got to take off an equal amount from both sides. This way, it doesn't really matter. This way, it doesn't matter. You just want to get this unfinished edge down to the same, down to a finished edge. Yeah, this damn, I built this too narrow, and then I put my thing out here on the end, so it tips. It wasn't very smart, but it is what it is. All right, so it's 7 o'clock. I can fire up the planer. And get these things planed. Dan in your ear scared you? Yeah, that would probably be better because I'm pushing this way. If I clamp to that side, it'd probably be better. I always clamped it to this side, so then the debris falls onto the floor. Right, my little pile of chips there. Freaking big ass thing. A little pile of chips down there. But I guess ultimately it really doesn't matter. It can it can be on the table. It's not going to hurt anything. And now, I was looking through the comments, waiting to have somebody tell me that I didn't use my push pads. These are big enough that the push pads would just end up getting in my way. Like when I'm doing thinner stuff, I'll use these because I don't have enough room to get my fingers out of the way. If that makes sense. But let's get this done. We'll get the planer out and going. And this time I won't mute it. I'll just let you it's too much work. That's what I got this little broom for. And a shop bag that I don't ever use. I think it's got a dust collector port thing on it. But hindsight, it's 2020. But when I run the planer, I won't mute the mic. I'll just give you guys a heads up so that you guys can turn your volume down. So that way you don't freak out or whatever. Alright, so this is going to go this way. And we're not even going to put the trash can up here. We are going to put the trash can over here. Yeah, we're going to put the trash can over there. Why not? Let me sweep these chips up onto a pile. Put the trash can over here so I can catch 3 of the wood chips. And then the rest of them can go behind the trash can. Good Lord. All right, so how thick are these? That's a pretty aggressive cut. We'll go with that. Now, I'll get this plugged in. Get my trash can over here. Get my little box set up. Yeah, it will. It definitely will. In fact, I used to just cut without this little piece of pipe that I found. I used to just let it blow, or you just straight that way, which is great, except for it hits that wall, that door, and then blows out. So now I just kind of angle it towards the trash can, which helps block most of it. It still ends up everywhere, but it's less scattered. Do like so. That's gonna blow chips out of the trash there too. And then I just do this. And that helps to keep it relatively contained. It stops it from hitting the wall and blowing out until I get my dust collection system put up. Which, based on how weather is going, which it will be, August. So, all right. Use a dust stopper with the. I thought about that because I was going to take the bag off of my dust collector and just attach it to this and just blow chips into the bag. But now I'm going to have a return air for my collector, so I need the bag. But I don't have it set up yet, so I might as well take the chips or take the bag and use it. I'll be right back in just a second, guys. Starting back. It is definitely cold outside. But I don't have the heat on in here and it's not bad, so. Alright. I'm gonna turn this on. So anybody who's listening with earbuds, turn your volume down. Excuse me. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Hot dog. That was messy. That's all good. Wait a second. I will show you guys the how they look. I forgot that I had used a different piece for the side of that one leg, and it was a little thinner, so I had to make the other one match it. So what that ends up doing is my feet will be a little bit wider than my legs, which is fine because I have a transition piece that I'm going to make for that. But the maple lines up. It's the cherry that is, maybe each strip is 1/8 of an inch shy, which is perfectly fine because these aren't going to run right into the base, or into the feet. Or, I'm sorry, these are the feet, but the uprights aren't going to run right into here. There's going to be a block here. So, there's going to be a little something in there. I know milling gets rid of a lot of viewers and stuff, but probably especially everybody who tuned in mid-mill, since I didn't mute it, those people just probably immediately blocked me, which is fine. I didn't want those people anyway. Is that Dan? Hey, Dave, how you doing, buddy? All right. So while my filter fan thing is cleaning up the air, that last group was super dusty. I'm going to sweep up my floor a little bit. How you doing, Dave? What's new? It's been a while. I haven't seen you in a while. I can't complain. Building, I'm going to dust off my phone. Building a bassinet. That's what we were doing today. Is milling up. These are the uprights, right? The feet will go down here, and the mount for the bassinet bit will go up here. But this is how they're going to look. I mean, they're going to be shaped. This is just the blank. We glued them up yesterday, I believe. So I see there's a couple of spots that I'm going to have to fill with glue. Not many, just a couple of little bits. So that's not a problem. I'll squirt some glue in there and then smooth it out. But there's not a whole lot, really. They glued up really well. And to be honest, it was probably just because of how I had the clamps. If I would have had them clamped up better, I bet that wouldn't have been an issue. Like, I could have put a piece of paper or plastic between the two leg blanks and glued them both up at the same time, and then instead of splitting the clamps, I would have had more clamps on these two blanks. But you can see, like here, maybe you can't see it. Right here, there's a tiny, tiny gap. Now, I'm probably the only one who's going to ever notice that, but I'm going to fix it. And then, let's see, the feet. There's one tiny section here. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can see all my planer marks from the jointer, all the knife marks. But there's one small section right there by my finger that's needs a little bit of glue in there. But now things like this won't matter. Sorry, this won't matter because they're going to get shaped. That'll obviously be the top, and I'll shape it down. So. But, yeah, I think this is going to turn out super nice. I think it's going to turn out good. So over here, we have the black walnut. That's going to be the slats on the sides. The maple. That's going to be the maple and the cherry. That's going to be the stiles and rails that will house those slats. Did guy just flip us off? 100%, Steph. 100%. Now I point with my middle finger a lot when I'm pointing at something. And I'm sorry. I did blow half the sawdust out of my trash can, so that's fun. But that puts us at 7:20. So that was about an hour and a half to mill those 4 pieces. And get them down to workable lengths. Something lacy on my wrist. Are you talking about like my hoodie? It's all. This is one of my favorite hoodies. It's so comfortable. Well, dust is clearing out pretty quick. So I'm gonna get this swept up. And now, if you notice, I did turn my... Yeah, that's right. I think. I did turn my planer. It's got 2 speeds. It's got a fast cut and a slow cut. And all that does is change the feed rate. So the slow speed will cut more, which gives it a finer cut. So you notice I did switch it on for that last pass of everything. That cut will give me I'll be right around a 220 finish if I were to sand it with a 220 grit. Maybe 180. The blades are kind of beat up right now. His brain just do a reset. It's lifted up and it's different than how I normally have it. So it took me a second to realize what was over there. There. Oh. Got so much sawdust everywhere. You can clean up a spot so I can put my table over here. Now, I don't know how interesting it's going to be for you guys, but we are going to have a couple of days where I hope you guys are entertaining me, because I'm going to have to sand a lot. Particularly the panels. Those are going to take a good bit of time. But it's not yet. So we're going to do get everything cut and all the joinery done and cut, and then we're going to test fit everything. We'll do dry fits, and then the sanding will happen. So, I'm not going to sand those panels. I'm not going to sand those panels as is, because they're going to be cut down significantly. So why sand something that large when I don't need to? Right? So that'll be a couple of days of just sanding. Or one really long Saturday or Sunday. So y'all will have to entertain the hell out of me. Here is our you can't see it. Here's our sawdust pile. from that, plus whatever blew out of the trash can. But it did keep it kind of contained, because it's not all back in here, up on top of here, in my beer. Like, it's all pretty well contained. Grass better entertain us. It's going to be his responsibility. I got a bunch of wood glue on the floor over here. I don't know where that came from. It was probably grass telling me I needed to put more glue on my boards. Yeah, I can help. There you go. I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then I'm going to stand here, drink a beer, chat with you guys, and then that'll probably be it for the night. And then I'm sure Turner will be going live here soon, if he's not already. I didn't notice a notification, so. And I got dinner to eat. There's nothing I can really do on this project that's quiet, so it pretty much stops at 8 o'clock, or by 8 o'clock. Now, stuff like running the sander, I'll do that, because that's relatively quiet. It's not a big piece of machinery. Running the router, I would probably do. There's a lot of jackasses in here. With Ernest. Here's my bag. It's full. I'm going to pull it out of there and set it down. Put another bag in it. Get started. Now, those bags are big. That trash can's not. When I take it out of there, I end up with like, I don't know, 3/4 of a bag. So I put more in it. I just set it back here, like stand it up with it open, put more in it. But this is how they're turning out. We got some of that curly maple showing on the sides. Nice, and particularly you see it the way the light's catching it here. I think that'll turn out. You can see it down here too. I think it's going to turn out really, really nice. Now tomorrow what we're going to do is, as soon as I get home, I'm going to does he keep wanting more? I'm going to cut the black walnut down into the panels. I'm sorry, I'm not going to cut them. I have to mill them. I have to run them through the planer. I need to thin them out a little bit. I'm not going to do it tonight. Excuse me. I gotta wash down that sawdust. But I have to thin them out a little bit. So I'll run them through the planer tomorrow. Then we'll get them cut down into rough size. And then we can start doing our joinery work. The stand, the legs and the feet bit, I'll make up a pattern for it. We'll end up either cutting it on the table saw or bandsaw here, or using a router. All right, I can turn the fan off. It cleaned up the sawdust in here pretty well. It's mostly just on my glasses now. Oh, so much better. I can see things. Y'all have electric mixers, so. All right. We're going to stay in here. We're going to have a drink. And that was a mouthful of sawdust. I guess some did get in my drink. Stand here, have a drink, and then call her a night. It's more fun to do it by hand. You're good, you're good. Yeah. My beard's all crazy. There we go. The only piece that we'll have to make yet is going to be the stretcher. And yeah, it's all right. It was the bottom of the can anyway. The piece we're going to have to make yet is going to be the stretcher. Other than that, we should have everything over there that we're going to need. And like 90% of the heavy milling is done. So it should be a pretty chill rest of the week, doing little cuts and then a bunch of router work. And it's not even a bunch of router work now that I'm thinking about it. It's really not that much router work. We're going to have more time with the bead lock tool, but it's all right. That's all part of assembly. These are what I was talking about. They're the bead lock sticks. You get them in a pack like this, right? You get, I don't know, 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them. They're a foot long. And this is what they look like, right? It's like if you took a drill bit and went, right halfway into each other. And so you can cut them down. They don't have to be that wide. You can cut them down like this. This piece is like 1.5. Right. And then you cut them to whatever length you need. These are all hardwood ones. I believe these are all oak. Yeah, I believe these are all oak. Oak or maple. Actually, this pack looks like I got a mix of oak and maple. And then I got my 1/4 inch ones, right? 3/8 and 1/4 inch. Those are going to be the ones that we use. We're not going to. We don't really need to play with the 1/2 inch stuff. There's really nothing we're doing that's going to be that need joinery that thick. Hey John, how you doing, bud? Thanks for popping in, man. I appreciate that. So I'm pretty sure I got plenty of beadlock tenon stuff over here. Pretty sure. 75% sure. I'll order more just in case. But well, we'll probably use a little bit of 1/2 inch to attach the uprights to the legs or to the feet. We'll put a couple of them in there. That way that stuff doesn't move. That'll probably be about it. Everything else is too thin to use 1/2 inch. I mean, most of the boards are 3/4 inch. So it'll be great. Yeah. We're getting closer to start final assembly or to start dry fitting things. Seeing where we messed up. And then remaking pieces to replace the messed up pieces. I do have a couple of pieces that I had already cut and stuff sitting up there on the shelf. I already had to use a piece for one of the feet. I've got more black walnut up there. I'm not going to cut it and plane it yet, but I think this weekend, if we keep on this trajectory, I think this weekend we will be able to dry fit the box portion, the bassinet port, where you put the baby, little basket. I think we'll be able to have that dry fit together if we keep on this trajectory. I think we're making good progress. We've got 9 hours in cutting and milling so far, and almost everything's done. I mean, rough cut, obviously, but like everything is cut too long or too big. We got to mill the black walnut. I forgot about it, or I would have milled it tonight. Kind of unusual boards am I looking to buy next? I really don't know. I'd like to get my hands on some really figured cherry. Talking like domestic woods, some really figured cherry I'd really like to get my hands on. Like my bar top. Something like that. And domestically, I think that's about it. I mean, buying like one-offs, it's just like as I see it. If I see something that grabs my attention, I'll buy it. I don't really go hunting for much. I do have some orders in for that grandfather clock for some highly figured cherry wood. I have some ash slabs that I'm going to bring in and put in the shop here once this project is done. All men want a well-figured cherry. I mean, by next fall, I hope to have my trailer done with the sawmill on it, so I can just go out and start milling up people's trees. Have them also domesticated. That's some great ash. You got John C. blushing over here. Other than that, I'd really like to get my hands on some cypress. A couple of cypress slabs, I think, would be really cool. I do have a mill. I haven't put it together yet because I'm gonna put it on a trailer. I bought a Woodlands mill, so I'm gonna put it on a trailer so that I can haul it to where I need to go. I got to get a winch so that I can roll logs up onto it because God knows I ain't picking them up. So what you do is you put the winch on and you run the cable under the either under or over the log, however you want to do it. I think under would be more intelligent. No, over. You run the cable over the log, under it, and back to your trailer, and then as you winch, it'll roll it up onto you. I've got these. They're like ramps. They're just bars that drop down to the ground. So the winch is supposed to pull the logs up onto the trailer so that I can cut them. But I got to get a trailer. And then I'll assemble the mill. It's not like a super fancy mill. Like it doesn't cut on its own. It won't. Some of them you just it'll run down the log on its own. Mine won't. You have to walk with it. But that's fine. I need a little exercise anyway. Right, the jugs too. So ideally, I'll have that going by fall, but we'll see how things go. Hopefully, I'm not missing any pieces because I've had it since the beginning of winter. I think it was the beginning of winter. I never opened it. I put the boxes in the barn and left it there. Because if I assemble it now, what I'm going to want to do is use it, and then I'm never going to want to disassemble it to put it on a trailer. It makes more sense to take the mill to the tree instead of bringing the tree to the mill. At least in my mind, it makes more sense. Because people are always, hey, I got this tree down. You can come and cut it up and have the wood. And then I'll roll up and make slabs out of it. And, be like, thanks for the free wood. Free. And fuck off. No idea how fun domesticated can be. But I am really happy with how these blanks turned out. I was running them on the planer, on the jointer, rather. When I assembled them, I didn't pay attention to grain direction. So on a couple of the pieces, I think 1 foot and 1 leg are upright, the maple grain runs opposite of the cherry grain. So I was getting tear out. And it is what it is. But I managed to a lot of times if you go slow, like really slow, excuse me, if you go really slow, it won't tear out as much. It won't grab it and rip out pieces. So I don't have any real tear out anymore. Like I fixed little bits of tear out that I had on the 2. So I did get a little bit of blowout on the one end, but that's okay because it's cut too big anyway. So that's why I cut them oversized. Thank you, Grass. In fact, I might have taken the blowout bit off with the planer. It's curly maple or curly wood in general is really, really tough to work with because that grain doesn't go one direction. Because the grain in a curl, when you have curly wood like this here, it goes like this. And so no matter which direction you go, you're going to be cutting into the grain and against the grain. But yeah, I did end up cutting that off with the joint or with the planer. So that's good. And my boards are nice and straight. Like I could take those blanks and I could glue them up right now. Those things are nice and straight. I like it. Or at least if they curve, they both curve the same direction. Nobody likes blowout. That reminds me, I have to order more Brad Point drill bits. I'll have to order those tonight once I get off of here. Because I ran into that one screw. Just bought your new underwear because of blowouts. I really have to word things differently. I forget the internet is a thing. Probably needs more than one blessing. He really needed that blessing. More underwear because of Alan's comment. I got plenty of underwear. I'm good. I can have a couple blowouts and be solid. Oh, good Lord. You guys. Well, I guess I get these chunks put over here. I'm going to call them chunks now. These put over here so that man, those came out beautifully. Those came out really good. All right, so tomorrow when I get home, hey Michael, how you doing, buddy? Captain Caveman. Right? Leave my damn holy boxers alone. They're comfortable. Handling chunky wood. You know it. But I think so tomorrow we're going to mill the black walnut. We're running that through the planer. I'll try to do that first thing so we can get the noisy bit out of the way right quick. Then we're going to cut them into lengths or widths rather. And then we'll see where we're at. Some more of a splinter. Yeah. But after this project is done, I have absolutely got to get my clamps cleaned up. Combo goes where the combo goes. Lots to clean up from the sound of it. It'll be a good bit of cleanup. I'll get the stuff we just milled up tonight while I'm chopping up when I'm cutting the black walnut to the proper widths. I'll cut the ends off of the legs or the uprights and the feet. We'll get the ends cut so that everything's nice and clean. Your boxer's older than grass. Hey, Trudge. How you doing? You know what? I'm thinking that I really need to turn that refrigerator into a kegerator. Because kegs are pretty cheap. But then I won't be able to use my super fancy magnetic koozies unless I get a glass to put them in. Like a glass that fits in here. Although having a keg might be a terrible, terrible idea. But summer's coming. Gonna need a sippy cup, right? I use my, I probably get my Yeti cup in here, but it's already insulated. I could. They do make these in different sizes, so I could probably get slightly bigger ones, and that way I can stick it to stuff. Like your wine sippy cups, yeah. Steph, I think they call that a nipple, where you just screw it onto the end of the bottle and go to town. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Would slow down the whole point. I mean, that's fair. I did order a couple of bottle koozies, like for like a beer bottle. Never made a kegerator. I'm pretty sure that I can turn that into a kegerator. I might look up a YouTube video. Somebody made it. Somebody did it. Excuse me. Goodness. But it is dinner time. I've got to clean up. I got to take a shower and stuff my face with some dino nuggies. So I will see you all tomorrow, probably about the same time, and we'll get some more done. Yeah, sorry, that was a slip of the tongue, Steph. Giggity. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you later.